Hello again. Welcome to the second video of the three on emotional intelligence. This video will focus on slides 10 through 14. Okay? 10 through 14. So you can pull up the slides, or I don't know if you print them and take notes on them, or if you want to pull them up. I'm gonna go through them as well. Okay, so let's share the screen. Sorry, I'm a little close. My eyes are so bad, and I don't have my glasses. Next time I'll have to grab my glasses. Okay. So we're just going to start with, this is not a definition for motivation. This is just something I thought maybe would help understand what goes into play with motivation. When you read On Course, up to this point you should have read much of On Course, you'll see that they have their own formula for motivation. It's value times expectation equals our level of motivation. And I'll let the reading explain itself because I don't have so much time in this video. I'm trying to keep them tight. But what I do want to say here is that when we look at our attitude, the way that we talk, the way that we approach things with language, our commitment level to our priorities, and we look at our mindset. I mean, we sometimes will interchange them. I'm going to separate them as different things because you also read the article on mindsets, the fixed and growth mindset. Sorry, I'm bumping this. So you're aware that our mindset has a lot to do with how we go about being students and what we believe we're capable of, or what level of abilities we have. Okay. So really, mindsets is about beliefs. I think attitude might be, and the way I want to use it for this lecture is really like the words we use and the way we approach things. What kind of attitude we bring to the table, to our commitments and our priorities. And then we look at emotional intelligence, and we look at the four components of that, of being aware, basically self-aware, and aware of others. When we put those all together, we may start to be able to look at some of the reasons why it's difficult to stay motivated. Okay, so if I have a fixed mindset, I'm not open to growing. If I have an attitude of it's everybody else's fault, why I'm not succeeding. And I also, anytime I'm put in a position to be challenged, instead of managing those emotions and moving through them, I explode or give up. We can see how, motivation can be difficult to acquire or keep a hold of. So we're going to kind of move into attitudes and mindsets. If you haven't read the short reading on mindsets, it's in week 2, I believe. Please do that now and come back to the video once you've read it. Underneath the slides, there is, sorry, I just had a thought cross my mind. Underneath the slides, there is a bunch of study questions that you can go through to help you digest mindsets better, because it's a very important reading for this lesson and for ones to come. So I would like you to be able to, dig deep there with that reading. All right. So I'm not going to talk about the reading right now, but what I am going to do is just go over briefly the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Okay, so when we talk about fixed and growth mindset, we're talking about beliefs, what I believe I am capable of. And if I'm a fixed mindset, it means I was born with certain talents and that's as far as I go. They don't grow, they don't change, they're fixed. And no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to get any better. Okay, I'm not going to learn anymore. If I'm a growth mindset, I understand that learning grows on itself. So when I learn one thing, it's easier for me to learn the next thing. It's easy for me, and it goes on and on and on like that. I also understand that failure is part of success. So I'm curious, I'm brave, and I explore. I have an open mind. Um, and here we see the two general mindsets, kind of the columns here. Fixed mindsets tend to blame others for the reasons why they aren't successful, or they complain about where they're at. They use excuses to get out of challenges, or they really want, when they want help, rather than just asking for help, they'll use an excuse of why they need it. They also repeat behavior that doesn't work for them, so they'll study the same way over and over and over again, even though it's not producing the results they want. However, the growth mindset, they are interested in finding solutions. So they may talk about what's going on, their struggles, their challenges, but it's because they're trying to get at solutions. Okay, they aren't just complaining to complain. They really want to learn. Okay, they take action instead of sitting in their heads and complaining, or sitting back and letting everyone else do the action. They will take action for themselves, and they also try new things. They try new ways of studying, even if they're not sure if it will work, but they'll try it anyway. Now, when we talk about victim and creator language, or when OnCourse is talking about victims and creators, it's talking about language. So mindsets are our beliefs, where victim and creator, it's what comes out. It's the way we share ourselves, and the way that we, with our words, create our reality, or create the space that we're in. I like to say that words are like spells. Okay, so when I say I'm not good at something, I've already decided I'm not good at it, and I've decided it a long time ago, but now the words are coming out of my mouth, which means it's sealed the deal. Because when I tell someone I'm not good at something, they don't know it, especially if they don't know me. They're just going to take me at that value, okay? And if they do know me, and they kind of know that's not true, then maybe I'm not, my integrity isn't intact. Maybe I'm not really fully trustworthy. So we want to be really careful about the way that we use language. And what OnCourse says is that victims use language to blame, complain, make excuses, that type of thing. Down below on this slide, we see an example of a victim statement. I can tell you that I make these statements, and the good thing is, though, that with the awareness comes the ability to make a choice to stop it when it's happening. And I may be doing this for the rest of my life. I mean, I don't expect to ever be perfect and catch myself at every angle at all. But when we hear this kind of language in other students, we can decide to not participate, because it's really not a solution-based type of conversation. And also we can catch ourselves, so that we can empower ourselves with our own language. So if we take a look at this, the tests are ridiculous. The professor gave me an F on the first one. These are really common kinds of statements that we hear. And I do remember hearing them in college too, and I also remember making them. So with a statement like this, when we want to transform it into creator language, we need to first take ownership of what is ours. We need to look at the situation and see where we can take responsibility. Okay, what is our responsibility, or our role in this experience here? And then what action can I take to move forward to get me away from this experience or situation I'm in? So go ahead and pause the video now. And what I would like you to do is reread this statement down here at the bottom of this slide and see if you can transform it. Take responsibility and then choose an action so that it's something new, okay? Go ahead and pause the video. Welcome back. I hope you paused the video and came up with your own creator language. I'm going to go ahead and give you one, I'll go ahead and transform it for you so that you can compare your answer with mine and see if you were able to do both of those things. So again, the statement says, the tests are ridiculous. The professor gave me an F on the first one. And one way to transform this would be something like, I didn't study long enough for the exam. And so I got an F. So I'm going to go talk to the professor about how I can study better next time, or how I can get a better grade next time. Or maybe I did study hard, right? Maybe I did study all that I could. Maybe I'll say, that test was a real challenge for me. And I didn't get the grade that I really wanted. So I'm going to see a tutor next time before the test and really go over some of the main concepts so that I can make sure that I'm studying in a way that that sets me up for success. Okay? Maybe you won't use all those words or say it in that way, but that's just an example of how to transform that. What I'd like you to do now is maybe to go ahead and pause the video and come up with one or two of your own victim language statements. And then see if you can transform those into creator language statements. Use statements that you've said or statements that you've heard your classmates say. That's a really good one, because then you're going to have a way of kind of entering a conversation or being a person in the conversation that knows how to change something from negative to positive. And that's really, really empowering, so that we aren't under a spell of negativity or believing that we're not able. Go ahead and pause the video now. All right, you're back. I came up with a couple of my own, so I will give them to you so that you can compare them. One of them is, there's too much homework and none of it makes any sense. Okay? If we want to transform that to creator language, we're going to take ownership and action. So it might sound something like, I'm having difficulty understanding the homework requirements, so I'm going to visit my instructor during her office hours. Okay? One more, maybe something like, I was late to class because parking was so bad here. Okay? Instead, I'm going to take ownership and take an action. So I might say something like, I didn't give myself enough time to park this morning, so next time I'll leave 15 minutes earlier to give myself enough time to park. Right? So we can always catch ourselves here with this when we get stuck. All right, that is actually the last part of this lecture. Lecture number 3 will follow this one, and we'll discuss making wise choices and the difference between responding and reacting. I do have one more thing to say. I'm so sorry. I hope you didn't pause the video. There was one more thing I did want to talk about because it's in the objectives. When we are in our mindsets, our victim mindsets and our creator mindsets, there is a fixed mindset may have this state of being, which is what is called already always knowing. Like, I already know the answer. I already tried that. And it's like no new information or no new learning, can come to them because they're so blocked. So that's what already always knowing means. And we can put ourselves in check by when we're making judgments or criticisms, or we're just saying no, blocking, nope, tried that, okay? Instead, we could take that victim language, nope, I already tried that, and transform it to, well, what's the way that you do it then? Because I have done it this way. I'm interested in knowing how you've done it, or something like that, that opens the door for a little bit more detail, and help. All right, now we are going to say goodbye, and I will see you in the next video. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.